Hello people of the YouTube universe, my name is ajbubba and today I'm going to be playing some Hypixel Skywars, but I really am going to be recording this as a more serious video because I want to talk about something that I've found to be kind of interesting in the past couple days on Hypixel, and it's stemming from a forums thread I read recently, and I actually did respond to this forums thread, which I'm trying to pull up right now, and it was called "Competitive Hypixel Players Have Been the Most Toxic That I Have Ever Experienced," and this guy's point is that players in Hypixel should be able to play the game however they want to. They shouldn't have to rush mid and do whatever every single time. His point's partly true, and I think it is true. People need to be able to enjoy the game. New players need to be able to enjoy the game. Skywars isn't the best for this because the strategies have advanced so far, and game sense has advanced so far, that it is hard for new players. But his point about toxicity is kind of perfect. Because when you think about it, Hypixel has to be one of the most toxic gaming communities I can think of. Not that the average Hypixel player is very toxic, because they aren't. The average Hypixel player is probably between 8 and 11 years old and doesn't really know how to play Hypixel. Maybe they're just learning how to PvP. They're not going to be great at it. But the good Hypixel player, who say a 16 star in Skywars, which really, you're not that great at that point, but you're going to be winning a good portion of your games and beating the average player. If they're just toxic and rude to everybody around them, these new players are never going to be able to enjoy the game. So when you just say L and cope and whatever, or you're bad and easy and stuff like that, that doesn't promote a way for people to play the game. People are not going to want to join and play when the average Hypixel player is just like this. And the problem is that average Hypixel player that's so rude and does all these rude things and is just a toxic player, they are the vocal minority. They do not represent the majority of players on this server, and yet everything they want gets changed. And there's a guy who was responding to this thread who was kind of toxic, so I'm just going to read what I said because I think it adds to the point about Skywars and just players being toxic in general. And he said, "Yes, but yet again, most people rush mid and fight. This is generally considered the normal thing to do. Most other stuff is considered toxic, so if you're not playing like the majority, expect to be disliked." Which is wrong, and I'll read what I said here. And I said, "You are failing to realize that you are the exact topic of this thread." Now, this guy has been pretty rude throughout this thread. "The ideas and mindset you carry in relation to this game are why new players will never enjoy it, and your closed-mindedness lends to a generally brash and dislikable attitude. You think the majority of players are the few players who are actually decent in every lobby, yet you're ignoring the other players that spawn in all the same. It seems that your idea of the average Skywars player is a 20 star that knows how to PvP and rush mid, but those stats alone would put them in the top 5,000 players ever to play Skywars. Looking back at the introduction of skill-based matchmaking into Skywars, it was revealed that less than 10% of all players were even gold prestige, and even if this number has increased by now, it's almost certainly less than 20%. That means at any given time when 1,000 players are playing solo, on average 1 player per game is gold prestige. Sweating out every game and rushing mid and spamming eggs may be the most popular and viable strategy, but it does not represent the majority of players of the game, and the idea that it does only supports the vocal minority." So this idea that if I use a KB rod in Skywars or a KB stick in Obsidian in Bed Wars is toxic because it's against the majority and I should expect to be disliked by doing this is what's going to hurt this game. Now, in competitive games, there are always annoying strategies and things you wish people didn't do. I'm sorry for these stupid notifications. I don't know why Windows just gives notifications. There are ideas that, there's the right way to play and the wrong way to play. And this is kind of dumb. I always think this is dumb in every video game. Sure, it's frustrating when I get KB rodded off, but guess what? That guy worked to get the KB rod or whatever and hit me off. I should have played better. But the idea that the way I play, or let's put myself in this guy's shoes who was pretty toxic. And let's say the idea that I, this player, am the only person playing this game the right way and everybody else is wrong and they need to play like me is wrong. And it's what's hurting Hypixel and the Minecraft competitive community in general, because it hurts the ability for the games to grow. People can play however they want. They should be allowed to play however they want. Sure, they can do some annoying things in this, and yeah, I'll probably get frustrated when I go up against somebody who uses Obsidian in Bed Wars. But there's no reason to be so toxic towards these people and just be completely rude to them. You're ignoring who they could possibly be and what could possibly be happening to them behind the screen. And I know that's kind of a lame excuse, and I know you can say, well, yeah, but it's, whatever, I still like this game, it's still competitive. Hypixel is the least competitive of all possible esports games. Your only accolades, is that the word? I'm sorry. You're only the only things you can gain from this game and kind of show off to other people are things you yourself find important. It's so niche that the idea that the communities are so set on specific goals that it's impossible to show this off. You're not winning $1 million Fortnite tournament. You're getting a dragon you can ride around on when you win a game of Skywars. So I think generally people need to be less toxic, and I do understand why people are toxic, but it's hurting the growth of the game, and it's just not a fun thing to play against when every 5th game is a guy who's just mad at me because I KB rotted him off the edge. It's just unnecessary. Let people play how they want, and you can play however you want. And I'm sure when you let that happen, you will begin to enjoy the game a lot more. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you on the next one.